What's up, everybody? Anton here, and in this video, I'm going to do something a bit different, and that is for the first time ever that I've personally done this, try to use ChatGPT through OpenAI to pick a winning high-ticket dropshipping niche. Now, I've definitely used this before. I actually posted a video about how I'm using it with Shopify just a few weeks ago now. I'll link to that if you want to see it. But in that video, I didn't talk about using it for niche selection because I hadn't done it myself. And I was just sitting here today thinking, you know what? I wonder if this can help us to find a winning niche. So I figured if I'm going to do this anyway, might as well turn on the screen recorder real quick and we could do this together. So this will be a live experiment to see how helpful this thing can be, specifically when it comes to profitable product selection. So let's start and see if we could just make this super easy, and we'll ask it, what is the best niche for high ticket drop shipping? Let's see if it could just save us some research here. Because you might know this, but the way I typically conduct research when it comes to high-ticket drop shipping is pretty in-depth. There's all different tests that I will take ideas through, and it really takes a lot for me to validate an idea and say this is worth our time. But let's see what this comes back with when we just ask it, what's the best niche? So it says it's difficult to determine the best niche because it can vary depending on things like market demand, competition, specific products being sold. However, some niches that tend to be successful with high-ticket dropshipping include luxury goods. Okay, so there's our first disagreement there. I don't recommend dropshipping luxury products. Not to say you can't do it and make money with it, but that typically requires much more pre-sale and post-sale interaction. And if you're trying to build a lifestyle business, dropshipping high-ticket products, you'd want to stay away from that. But I guess, to be fair, I didn't say a lifestyle business that does high-ticket dropshipping, so we'll cut it some slack there. Okay, it also says home decor, furniture, and outdoor equipment. It's also important to research and validate the niche and products before starting a business. Okay, so didn't really answer the question, gave us some generalities, but let's keep going. Let's try to ask it different questions, give it different prompts, and see if it can help with the work that I typically do when trying to research a niche. So let's try a different prompt here. Let's say, what is the best outdoor equipment for high ticket drop shipping? Since it gave us outdoor equipment as one of the categories, we'll see if it pulls anything in here that might make sense for us to continue researching. And I'll just tell you, even though I haven't done this before, what I think this is probably going to do is be able to assist with niche research. I don't think, based on other things I've used this for, that it's going to be able to replace the manual work that I typically do. But if it can give us some help and it can get us a step further than we'd be without it, then hey, it's still free, so I'm not going to argue about that. Let's see what it comes up with, though. So first, it has high-end camping gear, such as lightweight backpacks, tents, and sleeping bags, outdoor recreation equipment like kayaks, stand-up paddleboards, and electric bikes, premium grills and outdoor cooking equipment, high-quality outdoor power tools, chainsaws, leaf blowers, and lawnmowers, high-end binoculars, telescopes, and other optics equipment, outdoor furniture like luxury patio sets, hammocks, and outdoor lighting. Okay. I've never researched telescopes before, so let's see if we can run with that. And again, now that we got at least some information from ChatGPT, let's try to use that information in prompts and see if this can actually help us with market research. So let's give it another prompt here and see if it can give us the average price point for telescopes. What is the average price point of telescopes in the USA, since that's where I do business? And the way I would typically do this test is to go on Google Shopping, look at the first page results, and try to get an average of the most popular, in this case, telescopes, according to Google Shopping. But let's see, we have entry level can be 50 to 200, mid-range can be 200 to 1,000, high-end can cost several thousand. Okay, so mid-range and high-end definitely seem to work. I'm assuming the entry level ones are the cheaper ones that you might get for, you know, a kid on Christmas or something. But let's see. Depends on brand. Okay, so it's giving me some more information here. So far, so good. Honestly, this isn't, again, so far, this isn't something that's going to replace my typical research, but this is information that I can then use and incorporate with my traditional research methods. And this does seem to be somewhat of a good starting point. Okay, let's take it a step further, though. So now we know we have telescopes as a possible niche idea. We know that we could focus on mid-range and high-end because we want our minimum price point that we sell for to be $200. So let's ask it another question when it comes to if something's seasonal or not, because as you may or may not know, for definitely the first store you build, my advice would be do something that is evergreen, not seasonal. So let's say, are telescopes a seasonal product. And let's see what it comes back with. Okay, very, I would say, solid answer here, right? It's I want to say thoughtful. I know ChatGPT isn't actually thinking, but it's a good answer. So basically saying that they're not typically considered seasonal, but there are different times where they might sell more, like in the summer if the skies are clearer. But there's also different spikes that could happen if there's some type of big event happening that people want to be able to look up at the sky for. And the fact that people can buy at different parts of the world based on different things happening. So I would say solid answer. And although I still would want to do some more research to dive further into this, so far, I got to say, I like what I'm seeing here. So at this point, we've done a few things, right? We did use it to get a niche idea. It gave us telescopes. We found that mid-range and high-end would fit our price points. We see that they are really not, according to ChatGPT, again, I want to verify this, but that they're not a seasonal product. Now, I would like to check a couple more things here. The first would be how many different brands actually make these things in the US, because as you may know, when I'm doing my niche research, I want to find at least 20 different brands that I could possibly sell for in any given niche. With that being said, the way I would typically search this is trying to find stores that are already drop shipping and source brands from those sites. That way I would know that those brands work with online stores and they're not just brands in general. I don't think ChatGPT would be able to find me any specific brands that are dropship friendly, but let's try that query first and see what it comes back with. So we'll say, how many brands in the USA drop ship telescopes? And let's see if it can give us anything there. Again, that's kind of combining a lot of information. So if it does answer that, I will be very impressed. It says, I'm sorry, but I don't have the number of brands in the US that drop ship them. The number of brands that drop ship them is difficult to determine. Yes, I agree. Many brands may not publicly advertise. Correct. Yeah, I didn't think we'd be able to answer that, but fair enough. It came back with what I thought. So let's try this a different way. And the question I'm going to ask it now, or the prompt I'm going to give it, isn't a replacement for the data I want, but I still think it would be interesting and it could be helpful in our research here. So I'm going to say list USA telescope brands. And we'll see here if we can get a starting point with a list of different brands that we can then at least manually research to see if they are dropship friendly or not. So, okay, cool. So it is giving us a list, and let's see how many it comes back with. It seems like with other queries I've given it in the past, like it just gives 10 by default, but this is good. It gave us 11. Okay, so it's not exhaustive. There are many others, and there's more appearing frequently. Some of them might not be based, but have wide distribution. Great answer. Okay. When it finishes typing, I'm going to ask it to list more because we have 11 so far. And again, I would want even more to be able to research. We want at least 20 that would be dropship friendly. And if we're going to try to narrow it down to 20 from as many as it gives us, we want as big of a list as possible. Okay. So now we're at what? 23. And yeah, I'm sure if I keep asking it to list more, it can keep going, but this is pretty cool. Again, I don't think this is currently a replacement for the manual research we do because there's no way of knowing, like I keep saying, if these brands are dropship friendly or not yet, but it is cool that it can actually find this. And I could, again, see it being helpful if you want some extra assistance when it comes to doing niche research. With that being said, let me ask it one more question. This is an important one, right? When it comes to demand, we want to make sure that there's at least 10,000 people on average searching on Google for our niche, right? For the main broad niche keyword. So I'm going to ask it, let's say on average, how many people in the USA search for telescopes each month? If it can answer this, I'll be very impressed because this is data that currently the only way to get, there's two ways I know of to get accurate data for it. One of them is to be a member of Dropship Lifestyle, and you get access to our keyword research tool, which will give you the accurate monthly searches. And the other way is to be somebody who uses Google Ads and spends a lot of money with them. And if you do, then you get specific data unlocked in Google Keyword Planner that would give you this data. If you don't, then Google Ads in the Keyword Planner will give you like really broad ranges. It might say, oh, between 1 and 50,000 people a month, right? Search for these things. And that's not helpful at all. But again, if you're a member of Dropship Lifestyle, you can use the keyword research tool, get this number, or if you already use Google Ads, spend a lot of money with them, you can get the specific numbers from Google Keyword Planner. But yeah, it's telling us it can't give us that number. So I think, what we've seen so far, I don't want to make this video go on forever, but what we've seen so far is this could be helpful to maybe generate ideas and start research, right? Maybe to help with even brainstorming or to give you some initial feedback. feedback, but I definitely think this is not at the point where it's going to be able to replace the manual work that we do. By the way, if you want to know the manual work that we do, if you think that would be helpful, let me know, leave a comment below this video. And what I could do next week is make a video actually researching telescopes the way I, as a human, would do it. And we'll see if at least the starting point leads to something that could be a profitable niche. So if you want to see that video, let me know below. If not, if you at least got some entertainment or value out of this one, give it a like. And yeah, I will be back on Monday with another video. See you, everybody.